What is going on, everybody? This your boy Sean, aka Puff Comics 83, and I am here today on the solo tip. And I just want to say happy Friday the 13th. That means it's National Stabbing Day. So be on the lookout for all the Jasons out there. But also, let me just put the camera on. What's going on? Yeah, solo tip today. No talking movies with VV. That will return next week. And this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a while now. The last time I did a video showing off my slab collection was way back in 2018. That was a long time ago. That was like the year I started doing YouTube videos. And it was by then I had like a small collection of slabs. But it has grown over the last few years. And I just wanted to go through this collection of slabs, and I have my box over here full of them, and I'm just gonna go through them. But I just want to say I hope y'all enjoying your day, getting ready for the weekend, and we'll be back next week. Me and VV, we're gonna be talking the Legionnaires with Jean-Claude Van Damme, so that should be another fun discussion. Also, make sure y'all go back and check out the Comic Call Crew live stream that was simulcast on my channel and the Comic Call Crew page. Definitely check that out, man. We had a great discussion. It's been a while. I know that we haven't been doing videos lately. It's been like maybe 2 months since we did a Comic Call Crew hangout, and it was pretty good. I felt like I needed that, to hang out with those guys and chat up a storm. Bring you must be out your damn mind stuff. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of hilarity ensued in that. And we had a great discussion on video game music, from the past to the present. So definitely check that video out. So yeah, like I said, it's been a long time since I did a video on comic book CGCs, CBCS, all the slabs I have in my collection, and it has grown. I got over 30 slabs, and I figured I'd go one by one, maybe have a story behind them. A lot of these are like AOKs, and then some books that I sent out, and I got back earlier this year, especially 2 books that I was really excited to get, and I got pretty decent grades. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it off, throwing off some. Y'all know me, I love me some Conan the Barbarian, and I have Conan the Barbarian number 16. Night of the Frost Giants. This is classic Conan story right here. I have a raw copy of this, and I also have this 9.0. And yeah, this is just classic right here. The story is great. Battle with the Frost Giants, and I know with the next book I'm gonna show, I feel like just digging out some of the raw copies and just randomly reading them. Sometimes when you go through your collection, man, you pull out a book and you be like, damn, man, I want to start reading it. And you read one, you read another, and then you just fall in the rabbit hole. But yeah, 9.0, Conan the Barbarian, number 16, classic Conan tale here. And a lot of these books means a lot to me because they are AOKs, and this one in particular is an AOK. And the funny story behind this one is I was at the Infinity Toy Comic Con with Steve and Jeff. This was during the pandemic, like late 2020. They did a surprise holiday con, and that was the show that Comics with Beulah. That's where we first met Comics with Beulah, and we was excited to go. Of course, we had to wear masks and do all the precautions to make sure everybody is safe. So we went there, got to hang out with Beulah, and we had a good time. And I was actually talking to Beulah because Beulah was doing his live stream. So he was talking to me, interviewing me and stuff like that. And then next I see somebody, not see, but I feel somebody is digging in the back of my book bag, and I was like, what? I turn around and Steve Wyden, Stone Cold, most generous and great guy in the community. He sneaked this book in my bag. Conan the Barbarian, number 24. It's the second appearance of Red Sonja, signed by Roy Thomas. And Steve, he did that to 90 at one of the MegaCons. I think it was 2019 MegaCon, 90s comics, and he tried to do it with me, but he couldn't get it all the way in. And I turned around and I saw that he snuck this in. I was like, man, 7.0 Roy Thomas signature. First cover appearance of Red Sonja. I have her first appearance, issue 23, and I have 2 copies of this because I also have a raw copy. So, but yeah, shout out to Stone Cold Steve. You're gonna hear his name a lot in this video because one thing about Stone Cold Steve, he's the most generous guy. Hanging out with him has always been a blessing. Him, Jeff, Brian, all them guys, man. I love hanging out with those guys, and unfortunately, Heroes Con won't be happening, but hopefully I'll get to hang out with those guys later on in the year. Now, the second book I was able to get for a good price, and this is after the second movie that came out, Wakanda Forever, Black Panther. And when I saw the price for it, and I already got a raw copy for a good price, then I saw the slab, and I was like, "What? Let me grab this up for the price, man." And that's Black Panther #2, first appearance of Shuri. 8.0, and I was like, "Yo, for the price that the guy was selling for, I think it was like $50." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm taking that, man. You can't pass up when you see something like this for that price." And I remember going to a con, and I think it was one of the Brick City Coin Comic Con. Dude was selling this, I think it was like a 9.0. He wanted $1,100 for it. I'm like, the fuck out of here, bro. Like, yeah, it's the first appearance of Shuri, but that price, when you can get this book at various prices. And I was like, nah, let me wait. And then I was able to get a raw copy, I think from my shop. They had it on the wall for like $40. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. It was mid-grade copy, but I didn't care. I just wanted a copy because it's like Black Panther #2, first Shuri. I'm scooping it up. And then I saw the slab for $50. I was like, shit, go ahead and jump on that and cop that. So, a raw copy and the slab. Sometimes you get multiple copies. You get a slab and the raw. Sometimes some people get like 2-3 slabs of the same book. But yeah, this was a nice upgrade from the raw copy that I purchased. That was like a mid grade. That's like a 6.5, maybe a 7. But yeah, Black Panther #2, first year. Next up. Now, this book I got at Daytona Beach Comic Con, not last year, but the year before, 2023. I bought this from the Comics Den, Angelo and Sarah. They had their booth there, and we see them all the time whenever we go to the local cons or we go to different comic book shops. And I was able to get a good price on this book. And I immediately went to Lenny, Spine Tick, and I was submitted this book. And it came back 9.6. Carol Danvers becomes binary. Uncanny X-Men 164. And I was like, man, Lenny did a great job pressing it. And it was a good copy, that I got from the Comics Den. And I got it for a nice price. He took $10 off of it. It went from like, I want to say it was like 50 and I got it for 40. That's not bad. And it came back at 9.6 when I sent it in. So another great book. Definitely sub up the Comics Den. They do great content. They always all over Florida when it comes to going to cons, shops. Now they're into the Pokemon card game, and doing some card stuff, card collecting. So they're doing great things, man, on their channel. Next up, now this book, I'm probably gonna get this slab because it's got a little damage on the top. But I think this was an A-OK for my brother. I think. But yeah, X-Men 4, first appearance of Omega Red, 8.5. As you can see, got a little crack on the top. So this probably be one of those books that I'll probably resubmit. Get a new case for it. And I have a raw copy. Again, like, this is a book that I have for many years. And, you know, my brother gave this to me as a gift because he had gotten a copy, got another one, and he A-OK this. So, shout out to him. But yeah, the X-Men number 4, first Omega Red. The classic cover too. Next up, this book is an A-OK from fellow co-host on the Comic Collector Club, and he sent me an A-OK with a couple books in it, and this was one of them. Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man number 1, 9.0. Now I know, like, it's got the tarantula appearance, and I think between this and his first appearance was one of the Amazing Spider-Mans. I can't remember, it's not coming in my head, but it's damn near the same identical cover. Same cover with him doing the same drop kick pose, you know, with his pointy feet and stuff. I have to look it up again, but I know it's the same, pretty much carbon copy cover. But yeah, this is like classic era Spider-Man. First issue of the Spectacular Spider-Man. I know it had the magazine side before, but yeah. The story behind the next book, I used to buy into raffles. One thing about raffles is that you're pretty much gambling with money. You know, you can put a lot of money into those raffles, and at the end of the day, you don't win nothing. And I had a streak where I wasn't winning no raffles. I was like putting some money into it, and I didn't win. And I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing this. This book, and there's another book that I came up big on, and I was like, after those 2 wins, and then another one that I got off a live stream, I was like, yeah, I'm retiring from the raffle game. And thank God I don't really see too much of that on Instagram, because you don't see too many raffles pages do a lot of raffles like they did when I first joined Instagram from 2016 to 2019. But ASM 300 is the second appearance of Venom. His first appearance was at the end of 299. And yeah, I forgot how much I paid into the raffle. But then I surprisingly won. I didn't really think I was gonna win. I think I only bought like 2 spots. And when I saw that I won, I was like, oh shit, I won ASM 300. You know, and it's a cool book, 7.5. It's a classic cover, and I have to say that this cover has been homage to death, you know, to the point where I'm just sick and tired of seeing people do homages to this cover, because it's just gotten out of hand with how many times people will homage this cover. But the original here, it's a classic book, and one of the first of 3 raffle wins, and 2 of them are Spider-Man, you know, so yeah. ASM 300, 7.5 DC. This one I got from Big Will. I used to do my live shows Saturday afternoons at 2 p.m. Go check out my old Chatting with the Comic Community. I have a playlist of it. I think I did like 82 episodes before I kind of stopped doing it. But I bought this right there live when Big Will will come on my show and sometimes will sell books. And I was like, I want this. Punisher, #1, the first of the miniseries, and 9.0, Mike's deck cover, classic cover. And when Big Will was showing this off, I was like, I'll purchase that. I think Simply Incredible was on the show. He and Simply Incredible, Daryl, both bought from Big Will that day on that live stream. So I will have to look that show up and see if I can. It's one of those episodes of Chatting with Comic Community. But Big Will used to throw a lot of stuff on there and would sell some books on my show. Man, I sometimes I think back on when I used to do that show and how much fun I had. And I always think whether I want to bring it back or not. The demand wasn't really high for it, so I just said, whatever. But looking back on it, I was like, man, I do miss those days when I chatted with the comic community. But Punisher Limited Series #1. First in a 4-issue limited series, one of the major blunders, because it was actually 5. And 9.0. And that's not the last Punisher, because the next one is Punisher related. And that is the first issue of an unlimited series, Punisher #1. Another book I got for a good cheap price on eBay. Classic cover. Like Mike Zet cover can't be beat, but this is right there. The look on the dude's face about to get blown apart by the Punisher, man. And back in the 90s, I was a big Punisher fan. I bought up all his comics, including that 3-part story where Punisher became black and teamed up with Luke Cage. The most controversial Punisher story of all time. It's ridiculous. Go look that up if you ain't never heard. Punisher becomes black and teams up with Luke Cage. It's outrageous, man. But Punisher #1 of the first issue of the ongoing series, 9.0. Awesome stuff there. And here's another #1. Another book that you find on eBay for cheap, and it's like for CGC, I'll take that. Wolverine #1 of the start of his ongoing series, 8.5. But this is classic Wolverine right here. This is the back cover. I do miss when they used to do the pinups on the back. Classic X-Men had a lot of great covers on the back, and I do miss when they used to do stuff like this, man. Instead of advertisements, just give me a pinup on the back, from top tier artists. Like nowadays, you got the variant covers and you got the artists that do that. But I kind of miss when you get your regular cover and then the pinup on the back. But 8.5 Wolverine, and this first Wolverine as Patch. Yep. Moving on. This is one of the recent purchases. I showed this on when we did our live. What's up, Kenneth Bird? Great to see you in the chat. Thanks for stopping by. But I showed this past Saturday on the Comic Call Crew and on my channel as well. But I'm taking it out the bag. Change the bag. But Storm #1 came out late last year. This is a Ye-Hulk Lee cover. Beautiful cover. I did read the first issue of Storm, and I enjoyed it, but I'm not really picking up modern comics or reading new stuff. I just kind of took the chill on buying ongoing comics, but I just wanted to get this cover, and there's a lot of great covers, but I just focused on just getting this one. I'm trying not to buy too many of these variants. It be getting out of hand. I just choose the one that I want, read a copy, and then this one I said, it's pretty cheap on eBay. I'll pick it up. And that's the thing, like with these modern books, I'm not spending no more than $50 on a 9.8, 50, maybe 60, but and if they throw me an offer, 20% off, hey, that means he really wanted to sell it. I'll say that he really wanted to sell it. I mean, he throw 20% off. I'm like, yeah, I'll take the 20% off. So I didn't pass on it, and I have that. Then the next one is another recent book. Another book that came out. This one was, I think, this year. This Woman History Month variant cover, EC. Sozomai cover is Power Girl number 7. 9.8. Again, another pretty cheap buy. And the funny thing is, I met this artist at MegaCon 2021, and it was pretty cool. She was suffering from jet lag because she had a con earlier in the week, and then she flew over to Orlando for MegaCon. So when I was talking to her, she was tired. She was exhausted. But she was pretty cool, and I think she signed the Red Sonja book that I had bought for her to sign. I got a photo. It's on my Instagram. Y'all scroll all the way back to 2021. But yeah, she was pretty cool. It was cool chatting with her, and it's great seeing her continue to grow as an artist. And this Power Girl cover is beautiful. Beautiful. So that's that. Next up, I think this is our AOK from, Hialeah Combo. Shout out to Raul. Batman number 1, DC Universe Rebirth. This is a fried pie sketch variant. Raphael Albuquerque. Dark Knight Returns. This is 9.8. Yeah, this fried pie variant exclusive. Says on the back. Yeah, shout out to Hialeah, man. I gotta pick some cool AOKs from him. Next up, this is Jimmy Geek Aficionado AOK. James Tenney story. Batman number 90, a 9.8. Look, I made sure I put the note on the back from Geek Aficionado. Shout out to Jimmy, man. I was able to hang out with him in 2021. He came down, me, Steve, and him went to Coliseum Comics and Kissimmee, hung out there, and then he came back for MegaCon, which that year it was in August. That was around Steve's birthday, man. That was like a huge thing, We all put money together to get that AOK, that Tales of Astonish's first group for Steve, and Jimmy was the leader of all that. He put everything together. Him, Bear Island Comics did the video, and that was an amazing time, man. Sometimes you look back at old posts on Instagram or old videos that I have on YouTube, and it's like, man, it was just so much fun in the community. those days, man. And it still is, but it's not the same like it was those couple of years hanging out with those guys and getting together. So shout out to Geek Aficionado. Awesome A-OK. Next up, classic skull cover. Jack Sparling, Bronze Age classic, House of Secrets 105. It's a 6.5 classic skull cover. It's just something about the DC Bronze Age covers, you know, it's just iconic. You know, you look at the covers from the DC horror stuff from Bronze Age, House of Secrets, House of Mysteries, Weird Tales, War Tales, a lot of stuff. The Swamp Thing by Bernie Wrightson, lots of great covers in there, and it just sticks out, man. Modern covers don't have nothing against the classic horror covers of the 70s. This variant, I gotta put a bag in this. But this ain't even a variant. I bought this because the cover always stuck out to me. People look at they call it the Tom Brady cover. Green Lantern 49, Emerald Twilight #2. It's a 9/6. This is when Hal Jordan goes mad, berserk. You start killing all Green Lanterns left and right and taking all their rings. And it's just, the story is ridiculous. It's over the top, but at the same time, this cover is classic, man. Darryl Banks and Romeo Tanghal. It's just a classic cover. And, you know, I was like, again, this is one of those cheap eBay buys. You get books like this. The cover is like iconic, but, you know, it's not really an expensive book, so you can always scoop this up for cheap. And I was able to grab this book very cheap off of eBay. So, yeah, this classic book there. Even if most people feel like the story ain't all that. Some people say it's one of the worst Green Lantern stories, but it also led to what's the name? Shit. Kyle Rayner. Led to him becoming the Green Lantern. Here's another Green Lantern book. Green Lantern Season 2, #1. This is a sketch cover by Gabriella California Blend Howard. Now, if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I support California Blend. You know, this is a sketch cover. This is our sector. So John Mullen as the Green Lantern. But yeah, you know, California Blend is a great artist. And I've been supporting her since, I want to say 2017. That's when I first met her at MegaCon. And ever since then, I got a lot. All this artwork you see behind me is hers. This is all California Blend's artwork. And he started doing sketch covers, and I was able to get this. And I have a few other sketch covers that she's done. But this is one of the few slabs I have that she was selling. And this is a beauty. I love Far Sector. I love Sojourner Mullen as a character. And, you know, I feel like her story, the Far Sector series, was really, really good. Me, Anika, Greg, we did a video. One video on my channel with just me and Anika, and then another video on her channel, First Princess 92, with me, Greg, and Stranger, you know, talking Far Sector. So, yeah, great book, great cover by California Blend. Shout out to California Blend. sub her up on YouTube. She does amazing movie reviews herself, and check out her artwork. Look up California Blend Art and find her webpage and check it out. Do this next one. This was actually a second print, and I got this signed at my comic shop, Epic Comics Orlando. They had a signing, and Tony S. Daniels came in, and I got him to sign Deathstroke. Deathstroke #1. Like I said, it's a second print. Don't matter to me. It was cool meeting Tony Daniels. Very chill with the fans, and it was great to get this signed and send it in. It was slab. Came back to 9.2. Pretty good grade. But yeah, that was a fun signing, man. Whenever my shop do signings, it's always a great time. Here's another Hialeah special. First full appearance of Doomsday, Superman the Man of Steel, 18, 9.4. Yes, it's a Hialeah AOK this book to me, and I'm a big Superman fan. I know a lot of people don't like Superman, and I understand the reason why. A lot of Superman fans or people who don't like Superman tend to just look at the character as always powerful, godlike, and stuff. But a writer like Dan Jurgens, I felt like he knew how to write Superman the best. And that's why I enjoyed his Rebirth run, when he took over the character for Rebirth. Him and Peter Tomasi had good runs on Superman during that DC Rebirth. And I always enjoyed that. But yeah, this storyline was like big in the 90s. The Doomsday arc led to the death of Superman, the turn of Superman, reign of Superman. But yeah, shout out to Hialeah again. Another awesome AOK. Next up is a Stone Cold special. Now that book, when I got that first binary, that came back. Stone Cold Steve picked it up for me because he got it from Lenny. And then when he gave me that book, I'm like, yeah, I was happy. And then he surprised me with Fast Willie Jackson. I was like, oh snap! I did not expect this. Like again, Stone Cold Steve hit you with the stunner AOK, and he does this all the time. Fast Willie Jackson, massive book. Even in the back comic. But yeah, 6.0 is not bad. And yeah, this is like one of the books I'm happy to have in the collection, man. And I confront. Now, the other issues of this book is going to be real tough to get. But I was hoping, if I was to go to Heroes Con next weekend, unfortunately that won't happen. But hopefully I can find some other issues of this run. I think it's like 7 issues. I want to try 7 or 9 issues, one of them. But yeah, I'm going to try and, get some more issues of Fast Willie Jackson. Shout out to Bronze Age Brian. He hit me with some Red Sonja goodness. Greg Horn, signed by Greg Horn, 9.8. Beautiful, beautiful cover. Because I had gotten the AOK from the Comic Call crew, Matt and Al, and then Brian sprung this on me. And this was like a birthday gift, because we met with G-Man and them in October. So my birthday is in September, and he was like, "Hey man, this for you." And when I opened it up, this was in there. So, but yeah, beautiful cover there. Shout out to Brian. Hoping to hang out with those guys. Oh boy. Now this is a fun one. I used to read this character when I was a kid. And shout out to Jeffrey Comic Con. He sent the AOK, and this was one of the books that he sent. I still want to get a chance to hang out with him. Flaming Carrot, number 27. 9.6. Flaming Carrot and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I used to have some Flaming Carrot comics when I was a kid. Of course, you know, they all lost in time. But yeah, this is a lot of fun, and shout out to Jeffrey Comic Con, man. Man, the days of watching his videos used to be a blast. And I hope he's doing well, man. Hope he's doing well. I need to reach out to him. But I haven't really been active on Instagram, so. But yeah, Flaming Carrot comics. CGC 9.8. This is a Lee variant cover. Jay Lee. Turok Dinosaur Hunter number 1. This is another dot. Mad Cave Comics. AOK. But yeah. Can't say I'm huge into Turok. But I know there are people that likes Turok, and this cover is pretty wicked. You know, you can't go wrong with a Turok versus dinosaur. That's why he's the dinosaur hunter. Next up, this one is kind of special. This is one of those giveaways on Lords of the Long Box, TiVo, a couple years back, maybe like 2017 and 18. And this is from Darkside Jedi, who always was on that show. And I just want to say rest in peace, continue to rest in peace to TiVo. It's been a year since TiVo passed away, and I remember when that news hit, it was like, damn, you know, TiVo was big in the community. You know, from the comic book fanatics days when he was appeared on there. That's how I found out about Lords of the Long Box, through the comic book fanatics, Marty and Ray. And I used to watch his channel all the time. And when he died, when he passed away suddenly, it was like a gut punch. Because I was fortunate to have him on one of the second old school R&B and funk video that I did. I did a live stream talking about old school R&B and funk. And he was on it. And me, Matt, Al, Steve, we had a blast talking with TiVo. And he was always cool to hang out with. And you know, I'll just say he'll always be missed. But yeah, let me show the book. It's a first appearance. Walking Dead 100. This is a second print. First appearance of Negan and Lucille. 9.6. I won this on the giveaway on that show from Darkside Jedi. So, yep. I forgot how I think this was one of those mystery boxes that I purchased. And I don't really do mystery boxes much. but this was in there. Oh, now I remember. I think this is from yeah, now his name's not even coming to mind. But I'll just show it anyway. It's a first appearance, Skybound Comics, Die number 198. Robert Kirkman. I read this book and it was okay, but I didn't really stick with the series. So this back-to-back Kirkman books. Yeah, I'm trying to remember who sent it to me, because I know it has something to do with Jennifer. You know, the proceeds going to Jennifer Comics will break your heart. Man, it's escaping me. But yeah, Die 9.8. Almost there. This is a special one. Shout out to 3 people. Shout out to Stone Cold Steve, because he was in a bidding war for this book just to get it for me. I didn't even know, the auction was going on. I didn't watch it, but he went in the bidding war and he won it. Shout out to D-Runk Comics, and shout out to Squatchy Comics, because Squatchy did the sketch cover. And I love Ghostbusters. I love the real Ghostbusters. I'm a big Ghostbuster fan. What up, C Wood? What is going on? Great to see you. But yeah, I love Ghostbusters, and when I saw this, my mind was blown. And D-Runk, this was during the time when D-Runk had his DGC slab. He custom created slabs, and when Steve sprung this on me, Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider, the real Ghostbusters. And it's DGC Signature Edition. I was like, what? This is awesome right here. And then the back got the hand of Slimer reaching for that chili dog. Out the track. But yeah, this was awesome. The fact that Steve was in the bidding war to win this book just so he can A-OK it to me, man. Again, he didn't even have to do that, but he did it anyway. And that's, again, it just shows you how just awesome Stone Cold Steve is, and what a great person he is. That's why I love hanging out with him, and getting him books. I be A-OK and Steve like, yo, Steve, stop it, man. He'll go out and hang out with you just so he can get you something. And I'm like, nah, Steve, I got this, man. I got this. I'm gonna get you something. All right. So, but yeah, he went all out to try and get this for me, and he did. So, shout out to Stone Cold Steve, man. Awesome. And shout out to Squatchy and D-Run. Alright, getting in the home stretch. Now this is raffle win. This is from Edwin, Strictly Comics. This is the first of 2. The last book I'm going to show is from him as well. Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 8, CBCS 9.8, signed by George Perez, Marv Wolfman. The Death of Flash. Such an iconic storyline. Yo, I have the hardcover to this, and it's always one of those DC stories that even when I read it now, it's still like it gets me. It just shows you how just well done that Crisis storyline was. But yeah, shout out to Strictly Comics. This is was a surprising one. I didn't really think I was gonna win. Again, after the next book, the last book I'm gonna show, then yeah, I was like, yeah, let me get out the raffle game because I'm on a raffle, 3 raffle win streak, and I was like, yeah, let me retire from doing that. Now these next 3 books are from yes, exactly, Seaboard. That's 100%. These next 3 books I got from Old Man Spider, Israel. Shout out to Old Man Spider, awesome guy. Was able to hang out with him for Free Comic Book Day last month, and help him make some sales on comics that he was selling because he brought some books with him, and he was able to sell some to the Heroes After Dark group. Shout out to the Heroes After Dark group. But yeah, he brought this to me when I met him last year at Epic, and he knows that I'm big into collecting African American characters. And while this character is not the best representation of it, it's a Sig, Witness Sig, Mike Grell, Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, number 216, first tie rock. 5.5. Like I said, definitely not the best character. But like I said, any character, I appreciate, that he thought of me and said, you know what, man, Puff is interested in collecting African American characters, and it's always great to get a character even as obscure as Tyrock. To have this book, hey, from Old Man Spider, I appreciate that, man. Shout out to Old Man Spider, awesome guy. And this book, this one is another because Old Man Spider deals with CBCS. Razor Annual number 1, 9.2, signed by Billy Tucci. And this is first appearance sheet, and Billy even drew that in between the legs. And this is his signature. But yeah, that's she right there. He drew that. That was a little sketch that he put on there. Again, another book that I got from Old Man Spider. Classic covers like this, and the cover is just wonderful. Mark Sasso. And the back cover is by Tim Burton. So yeah, man, another great book to have in the collection. I do love She. She's one of the more underrated characters, and just to have the first appearance is awesome. And this one I recently got from Old Man Spider when I hung out with him on Free Comic Book Day Saturday. Ultimates 3, number 3. Scarlet Witch is a 9.6. Frank Cho cover. Awesome. So again, those 3 books I got from Old Man Spider. Check him out on Instagram. He posts videos occasionally. And hey, C Wood, stick around, because I went to a wrestling show this past weekend. So stick around to see what I'm about to show. But these are the last 2 books. This book I purchased at Heroes Con last year. I submitted it with the following book to Lenny Spinetics. Now the book had some problems. It had a detached page inside the book, and it's got writing on it. And at the time, I was like, I want the book. The guy had an awesome price for it. It's a low grade copy. I thought the grade was going to be lower. Sadly, no. And I will get to that once I show these next two books, man. But trust me, I really wanted to go, and unfortunately, life happens, and damn. But yeah, this book, Heroes Con, I was able to get it. The guy had a great price. Matt called me up on the phone, like, yo, Puff, they got this book here, and I already negotiated, got $25 off of it. So I went over there, and man, it was Lobo, #1. 3.5. I literally thought that this book was going to come back like a 2 or a 1 because of the detached page inside. And I took pictures and I showed Lenny this when I took it to him. But my surprise, 3.5. I was shocked, But yeah, I was like so thrilled to have this book, regardless of the condition, regardless of the writing on it, because it has writing on it. And I was like, I don't care. For $125, with $25 took off, I was like, yeah, give it to me. And now Al was able to get another copy. Al got a copy himself at the same booth. The guy had 4 copies. I got a copy, Al got a copy, Willoughby Comics got a copy, and I think Matt bought a copy from him. So, but yeah, this was like big come up. And it's one of my bigger purchases from Heroes Con. It sucks that I'm not being able to go this year, man, because I really wanted to go there and to dive more into what they have. Because books like that you rarely see here in Florida. I saw that book at the Old Time Comic Show, and I don't even remember the price. I just wanted to hold the book and have a photo. There's a photo on my Instagram of me holding that book. It's a slab. And I was like, I'm going to have this book one day. And now I have it. Now this book here, I remember on Instagram, there was a tag going around, people talking about, what's up, who that? Great seeing you, man. I can't remember what the tag was, but I know it's like books that you wish you had in your collection, but might be far out of reach. And of course, nothing can be out of reach. Anything can happen and it'll fall into your hands. This book, I posted the image of it and I'm like, if it happens, it happens, but I might not be able to obtain it. Strictly Comics put out a raffle. This was the book that, like, after I won that raffle, I got out the raffle game. I think it was $20 a spot. So I went all in. I was like, man, fuck this. I'm dropping $100, $20 a spot, $100 each. So when I won, I could not believe that a book that I did not think that I would obtain, I have in my hands. And I didn't even submit it to CGC. I had this book raw for a couple of years after I done gotten it. And I submitted it last year at Daytona Beach Comic Con, the Lenny Spine Tape. I knew it was going to be around the 4.5 because that's what Edwin had it at. And that's what it came back at, a 4.5. And it's cream to off-white pages. And I sold the 2 Punisher books earlier. Punisher 1 of the limited series and Punisher 1 of the ongoing series. So when I got this book, when I won that raffle, I was like, yeah, I'm done with raffle. I got this, I got that Crisis, and I got ASM 300. After a couple months of me losing raffles, and I'm like, man, this is a gamble because I'm putting money into these raffles and I'm not winning. I was gonna retire. Good, because I was like, this was the big boy book that I want, and I was like, stepping away from raffles because I got what I wanted out of it. I went all in to get this, and luck came my way. So it had some 129 first Punisher. Yeah. So yeah. And that is all of the slabs. I'm like, man, 56 minutes. Woo! Now, who that? I just want to say the Florida guys won't be at Heroes Con. It sucks. Life happens. I really wanted to go to Heroes Con. A couple of factors happened. Then a lot of the guys start pulling out because of life situations. And it's like, fuck, man. All the hype to go to Heroes Con just to get flushed down the toilet. But, you know, again, life happens. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks, man. Was when we did the Comic Con crew last week, I asked Matt, I'm like, because Matt them told me that originally they was just going to do one day. And then when we spoke last week, he's like, yeah, them guys ain't going. So it's like, Steve had to pull out, Hialeah had to pull out, Brian had to pull out, Pete pulled out, and I was like, fuck, man. And then certain things happened that, you know, drained some of my funds, and I was like, man, I'm already, it's already looking questionable. And that's another thing, like, I don't even know about 2026. I already told Steve, like, 2026 might be up in the air. Because I got plans to do something in 2026, and Heroes Con wasn't part of it. So yeah, 2027 might be the year. Man, it would have been great to see you guys at Heroes Con. You know, because I really was looking forward to going to Heroes Con. And not only that, not only did I want to go to Heroes Con, I did want to explore the city more, Charlotte, North Carolina. The plan was to stick around a few days and hit up shops and just explore the city. But not this year. So, alright, so there's one thing I'm going to share. Now, with me not going to Heroes Con, I did go to a con this month, and it was the River City Wrestling Con. It was this past weekend. So I drove up to St. Augustine, Florida, and I was able to see. I only saw like 4 people, but I did see a lot of wrestlers there. So I'm gonna share some photos. RVD. The whole fucking show. That's me and my brother Jace. We went up there. RVD was awesome, man. Just getting to chat with him and talk to him. It was great to hang out and speak to RVD. And he was cool. You know, it was $70 for the photo. It's a bit steep, but I'm like, fuck it, man. What else, man? Just get a photo with RVD, man. The whole fucking show. I didn't get a print from him, but I did get a print from this next person, and that is Jackie. Jackie is such a sweetheart, man. Just getting to talk with her, give her flowers, and tell her just how awesome she was at her time. And I'll say this, like, I feel like she came at an era where woman wrestling wasn't as prominent. You know, the Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, like, she came too early, whereas if she was been a part of wrestling today, yeah, it is expensive. It is expensive, who that. But if she would have came into wrestling today, she would have been great. But at the time, I gave her flowers, and, you know, she was awesome. Getting to see her was great. Then we got to see Theodore Teddy Long. Man, he hanging out with Teddy Long was like hanging out with your uncle, man. He just chatting up with him, and it was like, man, we just had a conversation. Nobody was at his table. Him and Jackie was sitting side by side, and yet there was a line in front, and that was all the people was there to see DDP, because DDP was at the other end. So we was able to just go through the line and talk to them, and they were very, very, happy and was able to chat with them, and just had a great time talking to Theodore Long and Jackie. Both of them were awesome. And I was able to get a print. I'll show them when I go back to when I stop sharing the screen. But yeah, Jackie definitely underrated. But yeah, Teddy Long was awesome, man. And we had to say, holla, 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 and hopefully you don't put us 1-on-1 against the Undertaker anytime soon. But yeah, Teddy was awesome. But the main person I went to meet, I could not pass it up. The reason I went to this con was because Bret the Hitman Hart, the excellence of execution, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I was like, I am not passing up this opportunity to meet the Hitman. Like, the Hitman is like one of my favorite wrestlers growing up as a kid. And it's like getting to shake his hand and to talk to him and tell him how much he meant to me as a kid, watching his matches with the Bulldog, British Bulldog, with Owen Hart, the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and all those guys, all the matches that he did in the WWF. The Hart Foundation, with Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Jimmy Hart. I thought about getting that print, with the Hart Foundation, but I chose the one that you see there on that table. And, it was like I'm sitting next to His Excellency. And Bret was just so kind, so warm to his fans. And yeah, I could not pass it up. See, well, I hope you get the opportunity to meet him, man. He's awesome. And, he's always willing to chat with the fans. And that's what's up, man. Just getting to be sitting next to greatness like the Hitman is awesome. And let me stop sharing. I'll share these. This is the print I got from Jackie. She was fine. I always thought Jackie was fine, and being a young black kid, even as a teen, and seeing her, it's like, man, you didn't see too much black woman representation in wrestling, and she was like the first when she first started in WCW, even though she was in the independent scene as Miss Tennessee. Just being to see somebody like her was amazing for me as a kid. Teddy Long, I had to get the Hall of Fame ceremony. And funny thing is, my brother had picked out a print, Teddy Long. It's the one with Teddy Long and the Undertaker. It was like $20 for the signature, $20 for a photo. Reasonable. I gave him $50, and he asked Jackie if she had change. She had a $10 bill. She didn't, and he's like, fuck it. I'll give you an extra print and for $10, and this is how I got this print. So Teddy Long was awesome, and this is the one that I picked up from Bret Hart. And that's the thing, like, I wanted one where he was holding the WWF Championship, but it was in black and white. And I'm like, I don't want a black and white photo of Bret holding the title. I want one with the pink background. To me, that it stands out more because it's the pink and black attack. So I chose this one. They had one with the Intercontinental Championship, but I grabbed this one because it's His Excellency. Awesome. But yeah, it was a good time, man. I saw Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I walked by Kevin Nash. His line was already getting long. So I was like, fuck, I ain't gonna be able to stick around because it was on a Sunday I had to go, and I work Sunday nights. So I didn't want to overstay my welcome at the con, because if I had stand in that line, it would have been staying real late. But yeah, I got to walk by Kevin Nash, and that was pretty awesome. I saw Brutus Beefcake, I saw Abdullah the Butcher, a couple of other wrestlers there. DDP, I did get a glance at him. He was busy in his line. And all types of independent wrestlers were there. So overall, it was a good time. I enjoyed myself, and my brother enjoyed himself. And like I said, it was the first time going to the River City Wrestling Con. And the only thing I didn't like was they said prices can increase. And for the photo and the autograph for Bret Hart was $149, $150. I got up to the front. I gave him $150. He like, oh nah, it's $190 now, man. You got to raise the price up, man. Look at all the people here. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious? That was like my only negative of it. You know, like if you're gonna go up on the price, I don't mind if it's an extra $10, $20. But damn, $40? I was like, whatever. I was just happy to meet the Hitman. But it is what it is, and I still had a good time seeing all those wrestlers there. And you know, if I ever go back, I'll definitely get some video, because I thought of getting video of the place, but I was just on a mission to meet those people and be out. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. Shout out to Who Dat and C Woodard showing in the chat. Like I said, I hope you get a chance to meet him, C Wood. Hope you get a chance to meet him. And I hope y'all have a great Friday the 13th. Jason Mass there. And yeah, we'll be back next week. Me and VV will be back, bringing back the movie talk next week. And until then, I'll see you later. Bye-bye, y'all.